Are you ready to have an auction? There it is.
Hi everyone, it's Chris, your favorite auctioneer. I've got a great show for you today. I'm going to be talking with Father John Phelps, President and CEO of Life Directions in Detroit, Michigan. Father John is an absolute dynamo and you are going to want to meet him. So hit that subscribe button and let's get started. So I'm with Father John Phelps. He is a president and CEO of Life Directions in Detroit, Michigan. Father, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you, Chris, for having me on the air. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So before we get into Life Directions and what's happening a little bit, tell our viewers what Life Directions is.
Life Directions, you take the word spark. Your spark is your life direction. That's why I call it Life Directions. And if you know your spark, you will have a life direction. And in a public high school where we work mainly, in public grade schools and middle schools and high schools, 1/3 of the students really know their spark well, and they're following it well, and the school is a complement to it. The 2/3 that aren't. What we want to do is have the 1/3 turn to 2/3 to follow their spark, which may be a trade, which may be anything in their life, maybe not college, maybe a career of some other methodology. We wanted to do it. So we went into the schools, and where the dropout rate is over 50%, we turn it around, and 82% of them graduate.
That's tremendous. So when did Life Directions start, and what led you personally to get involved?
Okay, as you can see, I'm a Catholic priest, and I was ordained in 1968. And in 1973, I wanted to get to the cause of violence, and I asked to be freed of the responsibilities that a priest usually has. And I went out of the box and went into a public school. I wanted to get to the cause of violence. And what did I meet? But I met the first young man. He said to me, "Did somebody die?" I knew he had a problem. And I was dressed in black, and he was worried about death. So I said to myself, we got a vision problem here. So that's where I came into the word life. And then I went to find somebody else in my profession who stepped out of his box, which is a retreat house. And he wanted to go into Cody High School up here in Northwest Detroit. And I went into Western and Southwestern high schools in Southwest Detroit, where Ben Carson graduated from Southwestern. And then I found a Sister Rosalie in there who was working to keep bilingual education and also to keep the Hispanics and people of color to be able to stay in school and not drop out. So we met a family of 6 children, all of whom were white European Americans, going into an all-black high school. And she, the mother, wanted to know what I was going to do for her children. We started out of their basement in 1973.
That's a lot of water under that bridge, I'll tell you. So, of course, we've all been dealing with this pandemic over the last year and a half. How's Life Directions responded to the pandemic?
Now, the pandemic, what a providential thing happened for us. We had taken our work to the second city, Chicago, and in Chicago we brought on staff back a year ago, January, a person who wanted to intern with us, and she was teaching in a community college. And then in March, when it hit, she tells us that she has taught virtually for 10 years. So she was able to take all of our programs and activities, completely retrofit them all, taught us how to do Zooming and chat and Conda and you name it, And I started to find this whole fantastic way of doing business. And all of a sudden, we had as many as 150 young people that we were touching virtually, and we were reaching them the same we had been doing without that. We went into the neighborhoods. We had a third program in the neighborhoods that's called Focus Family, or Enfoque la Familia in Spanish. And we work it intergenerationally between the grandparents, parents, and teenagers. And we've come to deal with social emotional learning and all the things of trauma and how we manage our response to trauma. And we're actually expanding our program right now.
That's inspiring, Father. That's truly inspiring. And talk about providence, right? That's there's no question.
Now, can I say something? Can I say
you
something?
can say anything you want.
Okay, here we go. Peers inspiring peers through forgiveness. So I guess I'm your peer inspiring you. So inspiring is our term. That's it. Thank you.
Right?
Yes,
inspiring and hope.
Yes, absolutely.
So I've been part of your gala for several years now, and the Spark of Hope Gala is coming up this September 18th at 6 p.m. We're having it at the beautiful Renaissance Winter Garden at the Renaissance Center in downtown Detroit. It is always an event that I look forward to, and I get to see you and all of the people that support this tremendous organization. So we also have several honorees that we'll be honoring. Can you tell us a little bit about our honorees?
Yes, let me start with the invocation. Usually it's given by a minister. This time it's going to be given by our co-founder, Sister Rosalie Esquera. But she's going to receive an award from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Michigan Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, because she is the Rosa Parks of bilingual education in 1974. She, with a group of mothers, brought a message to the Board of Education. And the Board of Education were going to bus Spanish-speaking people into the suburbs to have racial harmony. And they were able to convince them in Spanish, and she translated, the need for keeping bilingual education. So they brought a little apple, they put it in front of all of them, and they asked them to slice it up among all of them to know what it feels like to be a Spanish-speaking only person going into the suburbs. And they voted against changing, and they kept bilingual education. She'll get that award, and she'll lead the prayer. After that, we'll have Paul Glantz. Paul Glantz is like a star in our community because he is a guiding light. He is an amazing person. We had chosen him a year before in 1919 to be our honoree because he was already a guiding light. He owns Imagine Theaters, and he was able to stay with us through this, and now he's in the second year, and now he's going to be honored, and we're going to honor him because he is a civic-minded person who knows that families and dedication is what's necessary, and that's why he wants people to enjoy life. Then we're going to move from him, and we're going to be honoring Kim Adams House. And Kim Adams House is in part of Stellantis All Grand Advertising, which used to be Chrysler, and she's going to be honored for her being a Lifetime Achievement Award. And why is that? Because in 1974, I'm going to give her age, if you know the math, 16, and she was able to be part of our program, and she's going to be receiving this Lifetime Achievement Award for what she's done with how we touched her life and how she's touched the lives of so many. And then we're going to...
Oh, there's more.
Yes, one more. We're going to have this auction. If you're Chris, when you do the auction, okay, the live auction, we're going to have wonderful items. But when it's over, we want to honor one of the most important honored persons that we honored back 5 years ago, who passed. His name is Jack Aronson. And I was privileged to be at his memorial service, and we're going to be honoring him because of what he did, not just for Life Directions, but what he did for teenagers, what he did for young people, what he did for homeless people, what he did for people who didn't have any coats, and he would put coats in the back of his car. We're going to honor him, and we're going to be giving him a beautiful tribute, and we're going to close the night with a prayer of thanks for his life and a prayer for his family.
Well, I'm certain there will not be a dry eye in that room when you do that. So I'm glad you're doing it after the auction.
Yes.
Well, what's our goal this year for the gala? I know we had this crazy year in 2020. What's the goal? And then give your auctioneer something to shoot for.
Okay, auctioneer. When we had you with us 2 years ago, we were able to hit $240,000 before you showed up, and then you took us over the top with 60 more. Okay, so guess what? We'd like to give you a bigger start. We'd like to start with more than $240,000 in the bucket. We'd like to be able to put $270,000 there, and then we'd like to see what you can do to take us to $330,000. And the reason is the need for us is more. If you open up any page and you see trauma, and you see the traumatic experience of young people not being in school, you see my customer. Those are the people who are our clients. We want to be able to reach them with social emotional learning and trauma. We want to be able to take all of our ways of imagining life and be able to give them a chance to reclaim their dream. So we're honoring all the young people that we want to reach in this honoree, but we want to be able to have the funding, $330,000, to go into 330 families' homes and their communities and inspire them.
So basically, for every $1,000 we earn, it gives us what, a year that we can
gives us a year for a young person and their family. So the grandparents, parents, and young person to move forward as mentoring their peers.
Well, I'll tell you, I cannot think of a better investment in any community than doing that. Father, I want to really thank you for taking the time today to explain to our viewers what Life Directions is, what the goal is of the gala. I can hardly wait to be there. It's, again, everyone, it is September 18th. It is at 6 p.m. How can people get a hold of you? Phone numbers, addresses, if they want to be involved.
Life Directions, the address is 5716 Michigan Avenue, Suite 2200, Detroit, Michigan, zip code 48210. Our phone number is 313-342-0310. 313-342-0310, and ask for Bonnie.
Perfect. Well, Father, I can hardly wait. It's going to be, this is going to be our best year ever. I can feel it. And thanks again for being part of this. And I hope to see all of you on September 18th.
Thank you, and have a great day.
You too. So there you have it. If you're going to be in the Detroit area September 18th, make sure you join us for the Spark of Hope Gala in beautiful downtown Detroit. In the meantime, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you at the auction.